In this challenge review, we're going to take a look at solving this employee class. So the first thing I need to do here is create a new employee class, and every employee works for some company, and they're all going to work for the same company in this example. So what I can do here is I can say public static string, and basically we'll say company is going to equal, we'll say GameDevHQ. This is going to allow all instances of this object to share the static variable company. So here, public static string company, every employee has a name. So we'll say public string employee name. And we'll have a method called public void calculate monthly salary. Now with this method, I want to make sure that whoever is inheriting employee, such as my full-time class and my part-time class, are forced to implement this method. To do that, I need to use an abstract method. Now, in order for an abstract method to be used, we need to make sure that we're not creating instances of this class. So we need to make this class an abstract class. Abstract methods can only go inside of abstract classes. So now we're forcing inheritance through this employee class. Now that I've done that, I can create my part-time class. So here, I'm going to create a new C# script, and let's call this part-time. So part-time, let's open it in Visual Studio, and we're going to inherit from employee. So part-time is inherited from employee, and because employee inherits monobehavior, that means that part-time is also going to be a monobehavior. And you'll see here that part-time is giving us an error because we don't inherit the implemented member or the abstract member employees.calculate monthly salary. To fix that error, I'll need to come over here and I'll need to say public override to override the forced implementation, and we're going to say public override void calculate monthly salary. Once we satisfy the contract condition or the template condition, it's going to give us no errors. So here, what we're going to do now is also include a variable for public int, we'll say hours worked, as well as public int hourly rate. Let's save this, and let's create our next class, which is going to be our full-time employee. So here I have a full-time employee, and that's also going to inherit our employee. And because it inherits employee, it also inherits monobehavior, which means we can attach these to game objects. Once again, it's red because we're not inheriting all abstract members. So we need to override the abstract implementation by saying public override. We'll say void calculate monthly salary. With this, I can begin testing out my program. What I can do here is I can go to my main camera, and let's actually create a new object. Let's say here this is going to be Jonathan, and this Jonathan object is going to be a full-time employee. I can drag my full-time script over here, and you'll see here that I can add the employee name, which is going to be Jonathan. Now, one of the things I forgot to include in the full-time script is the salary. So here I'm going to say public int salary, and let's save this. And I'm just going to make up some arbitrary number here, and let's say that Jonathan makes $60,000. So now I can add it in. Another thing I could do here is I can create another empty, and let's say Jessica is a part-time employee. And you'll see here for Jessica, we can give her a name. How many hours has she worked? We'll say 40 hours, and her hourly rate is going to be $35. So this is a functional and practical implementation of working with abstract types. I'll see you guys in the next one.